Hello, hello. We working? All right, maybe not. All right, let me try this again. Okay, we are. Thanks, Ricardo. Super duper. All right. So before I get started, I want to say something. So I know niggas be thinking I'll be taking shots at individuals, like for example last stream, but I'm not doing that anymore. If I take a shot at somebody, I'm gonna say it by name. So I'm not gonna do subliminals. I'm not that type of person. So when I take shots, I'm taking shots like globally, you know. I mean, because it's typically shit that we all do, myself included. I mean, I've said that before. So I'm not aiming at anybody in particular. But if it sounds apt, I mean, everybody was on a couple people's head last stream, but it's like I wasn't saying anything about that person. Like, it's a bunch of new people online. Like, and I know y'all see these niggas. There's a lot of I'm not like y'all ass niggas in the conversation lately, and they mostly younger people, you know. So again, I'm not shooting at anybody in particular. It's just there's a lot of these niggas now. I mean, we used to know the few that were here, but now it's like it's filled with people. So, you know, it is what it is. And then as far as last stream, I was talking about the AI and stuff, right? And everybody's hollering that winter is coming shit. Let's so Kevin Samuels did not predict this. All right? This was entirely circumstantial. When he was alive, his timeline was much closer to years ago than now. He was saying winter is coming as in like next year because whatever the fuck he thought was going to happen. You know, this was the grift, you know, winter is coming and shit. But you never heard Kevin Samuels talking about technology and AI and displacement of jobs across all industries. You didn't hear that. You didn't hear him talk about technology in that type of way. Like, you didn't. I mean, first of all, you never heard him talk about really just technology. It was, you know, the conversation at large with relationships. But then at the same time, you never heard him speak on the effect that technology even has on society at large. And shit, in fact, most of these older dudes, they deny that technology had an effect at all. They deny that social media had an effect on relationships. So that alone should inform you that there, you know. So all I'm saying is, we all know this. So let's stop with the Nostradamus glaze. Like, it's not. Y'all know that's not true. Anyway. So all you winter is coming niggas, stop it. You niggas did not see this coming. Nobody did. Nobody. So even the people that made AI didn't see this coming. Anyway, so per capita. So that shit's been going around in the manosphere. First of all, as I said before, per capita is typically a formula used to compute the like the total quantity of GDP for population size, and then get, like, they say, and I'm using quote fingers, they say a more accurate number for an individual in regards to population size. So we'll go over this again. So for example, if you got a total GDP in your country, or like, for example, in my state of Minnesota, we got about 6 million people in the state. But in the Twin Cities, we have about 700,000 people total. Now, our state GDP as of 2024 was about $400 billion. Now, that would translate to about $70,000 a person. That's not true, and we all know that. So, first of all, look at the state population, 6 million people. But then look at the population in the economic areas, the main primary economic areas, which are the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. We have surrounding cities like Bloomington and Edina and whatnot, but those don't have a large enough population to really impact. And the thing is, that's where all the, like, many of the rich people live in, like, South Lakeville or Edina or Medina or Minnetonka, like those suburbs. And if I include those, we'll get to about maybe 800,000, which would bring us down in GDP because we're dividing by a larger number. So the statistic is not accurate. 70,000 a person. We have one of the largest, we have a very large homeless population here. They live under the bridges. They live in the Greenway. We actually have an area called Tent City. You know, it's not true. You know, it's completely untrue. So because of that, we all understand that while we can use per capita for economic numbers to do something like, say, for the United States, we can do GDP for the United States, and we can get like a median household income of about $78,000, which kind of matches with the state. The problem is we also know that that's not true. If you look out into America right now, we have record homelessness, record joblessness, and it's been going on for what looks like the last almost decade. Job numbers have been faked throughout the entire last administration and now this administration. You know, we don't even have a GDP report for October or November. We don't have a jobs report for October or November. So we know that these numbers, first of all, aren't going to be accurate because we're doing averages of an entire population, and we're discounting the fact that there are people that live in rural areas, people that don't make that much money. We're discounting all types of shit. We discount welfare for the first of all, those numbers don't count. So again, per capita is an economic stat. That's what it was used for. Now, white people that are going for the racism grift now that we did shifted towards politics because we think that for some reason it's a bigger conversation. It's not. Smokescreen shit. So we're trying to use per capita in terms of criminality, which again is in fucking insane. So let's do this, right? So I'll do Minnesota versus the United States. So in Minnesota, we have a large number of African immigrants, and I know y'all see that in the news lately with Somalia and Ethiopia. This is entirely coincidental. I took these notes like months ago, but anyway, it's timely. It matches up. So with the per capita numbers on crime in Minnesota, they like to lump in the immigrants with black people, with just black American people, which further inflates violent crime numbers. Now, one of the things that the white grifting and the coon grifters, what they don't do is they don't go into the actual types of crimes that are being evaluated or anything like that. Because when we do that, we're going to find out a lot of information. Like, for example, let's go into murders, right? So black murder victims make up about 61% of total murder victims. White murder victims make up about 20% of total murder victims. Now, black offenders make up about 74% of murders. So you got a damn near 1-to-1 higher, basically. And then it's the same with the whites. There's about 25% offenders for murder. Now, what they don't take into account is that the population size, even if we talking per capita, the population size is crazy. Like they're like 60 some, almost 70% of the population versus 14. Also, because the black murder victims are 61%, that would indicate that the black offenders are killing black people. So again, is the black fatigue aimed at black people killing each other? Because if that's the case, I ask again, are you willing to help us out? Like, for example, can you ease up off of the nepotism in the workforce? Can you do that? This way niggas ain't gotta hustle all the time. You know, this way niggas ain't gotta look for other ways to make money. You get me? Now, I didn't compare other races because I don't care. However, and let's be honest, right? I didn't include the other races outside of white and black because everybody is only paying attention to just us two, like we're the only people in the room. So, fuck it, right? Now, anyway, so let's move on to like total rape. total rape. Black victims of rape are about 37%. Black offenders at about 25%, so it's lower than rape crime is lower. White victims are 44%, nearly half of them. And white offenders are 57%. So more than half of white offenders rape almost half of the white victims, which would indicate that white people rape everybody. Again, their population size is way larger. I should have calculated the raw numbers instead of just percentages. I think that would have benefited. But anyway, that just goes to show you. When it comes to these per capita numbers, it gets skewed when you start to look at how many people it actually is. So you'll hear out in the mainstream of people making these arguments. Well, black people are only 14% of the population, but they're committing most of the violent crime. It's like, that's actually not true. They're committing the violent crime against each other. Against each other. Well, meanwhile, white people kill everybody. Literally everybody. And we'll get to that. Due to population size alone, and the fact that they commit the biggest variety of crime. Variety. You go look at the description of this stream and you'll see where I got all my evidence from. All this stuff is fully researchable. All those links are valid. They all come from not just reputable sources, but educational sources. You know, Department of Justice and National Institute of Justice, Statista, the Rockefeller Institute of Government, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, pretty much the National Institute of Health, basically where the doctors and lawyers and stuff go do their homework. You go into the same places. So all this stuff is valid. So anyways, we'll get back to it. So the population size of white people, again, they commit the largest variety of crime. Variety. And not only that, but they kill each other at a significant rate. And they also kill other races of people at a significant rate. They also commit the most heinous of crimes at a significant rate, including crimes against people below legal adulthood. So, according to the United States Department of Justice research paper, it was published in 1990. It's a very big paper. It's almost 360 some odd pages. It's like a book. And it goes in depth about serial killer crime, which the score on that is white people sit at a astonishing 82% of serial killers. 15% of those serial killers are black. However, when it comes to black people, they include worldwide statistics for black people so they can bump it up to 40%. Because fatigue, I guess. Head ass. So you'll see that out in the public. So if you go read this paper, it is called Hunting Humans, an encyclopedia of modern serial killers. Again, published by the United States Department of Justice. It is a research paper. It's not a book. It's not nonfiction. It's criminal research. So again, white people commit 82% of serial killings compared to 15% of black. Now, if you ever see the 40% of black people being serial killers, you are well within your right to call bullshit, because 82 plus 40 is well over 100. And there are other races involved, which I didn't include. And then just remember that they try to throw in worldwide black people that are not in America, to bump the stats up for black people. We don't do that shit. That is some white people shit. And by the way, when I say serial killers, I'm not talking about mass shootings either. This is separate. Mass shootings is separate. Mass killing is separate than serial killing. Serial killing is more heinous. So, and then if we look at sexual offenders, sexual criminal offenses, according to the United States Sentencing Commission, the people who arrest you, put you in prison, and give you a prison number and put it on your back, put it on the back of your clothes. 55% of sexual criminal offenders, they soften the language from rape because they don't want to say rape, so they say sexual criminal offenders. They're white. 55% of them are white. Meanwhile, the black stats are at 14 to 21%. Now, again, they give us a range. Why is that? They know where the white people sit at, above half, but just to try and, gotta get them niggas in there somehow. We get a range. We get 14 to 21%. Again, I guess because black fatigue, right? Again, this is the United States Sentencing Commission. Again, so I'll repeat, these are the people that put the prison numbers on the back of your fucking clothes, your Goku outfit. Now, you can go look at a bunch of other sources as well, especially when it comes to mass killings. So with the mass killings, which includes mass shootings and whatnot, we'll look at those numbers. So I have to go to a bunch of sources for this because what happens is the percentages will vary across sources. They're still, don't worry, they're still kind of consistent, but they vary across the sources because a lot of different legal areas will classify mass killings differently. So, for example, some places might only include public mass shootings, while others might include all mass shootings, which could also be gang violence or domestic disputes where, kill the family. So anyway, if we look at the Rockefeller Institute of Government, as of this month, November, as of this month, their data has white people sitting at 55% of all mass killings and blacks at 21%. National Institute of Justice, which covers half a century of data, has white people at 52%, blacks at 21%. And Statista, which covers from 1982 to 2025, has whites at 54, blacks at 17. So you got to keep a lot of this stuff in context. And then if we look at, let me just grab the per capita rates for you guys real quick. I create tables from this shit, from all this data. So, United States population share. Let's just say, so out of all incidents, right, you'll have 66, let's take 66 incidents. 64% of the perpetrators are white, 16% are black. And then the per capita total is 2.6% for white Americans and 2.9% for black Americans. Why is that? Because our population is low. Even though they committed 64% of the homicides, and we committed 16, they get a lower score because they have more people. Okay? The total number of victims killed, 560 for the white people. Total number killed on the black side, 142. Again, we still have the higher per capita rate because of the lower population. How does that make any fucking sense? You simply killed more people, but we get the blame for your murders because of a smaller population density. That makes no fucking sense. And then these niggas run with it and say black criminality, black fatigue. I'll make a copy of these tables. I got these tables. I have to convert this data into tables. Same way I did a bunch of years ago when I compared the two candidates' policies regarding, like, taxes and stuff like that during the 2020 election. Good at making tables now. Anyway, so we'll look at just homicides, just only homicides. Black Americans sitting at 21.8 per capita. White Americans 16.2 per capita. Now, the amount of people killed, significantly higher on the white side. The amount of people. Thousands. Tens of thousands versus the thousands for black people. But again, and also the black people are only, for the most part, killing each other. So the black criminality that they talk about in regards to black people attacking white people, or when they were talking about the Asian hate situation, black people don't kill Asian people. Black people fuck Asian people or Asian women. So that's a lie. Asian people adopt black culture. Almost exclusively, if you want to look at hip hop dance and now singing. So it's fucking insane. I mean, just these numbers alone. Again, everything in the description of this stream is there for you to just go research. The numbers are on the pages. You don't even have to read that far to see this shit. But the tables I'll distribute after the stream. Yeah, I'll put them in a community tab or something. But none of this shit makes any sense as soon as you start looking into the numbers the way, in a academic type of way. Now, it's the same way if I were to look at it with poverty. Because if we look at the poverty numbers per capita, we'll see a super imbalance. But at the same time, those numbers make sense because let's just say if not let's just say, let's look at the fucking numbers. So white people will have about 80% of wealth, and black people will be sitting at about 7% of wealth. It's because their population numbers are higher. It's simple. It's not because niggas are stupid or can't get a job. White people and black people graduate high school at about the same rate, at about 80-some%. They go to college at nearly the same rate. White people about 10% higher though. So it's not that the education is all that different. It's just that there's more of them, so they get to hoard it. They get to hoard the wealth. And that's just natural. Like if black people were, 5 times more numerous than white people and had a head start, we'd do the same thing. I'm just pointing out the fact that numbers having a large number of people means something. It means that you have an advantage. It's called attrition. If you fought a war, let's look at the Spartans. They were like the greatest war people, battle monsters on Earth, right? Just fucking trained to fight, trained to kill. However, they got the shit pushed in because there just wasn't enough of them. Just wasn't enough of them. There's, what did the Germans say in World War II? They had the best technology, the best tanks. One of their tanks could take out 4 of ours. The problem is we had 5 tanks. That was one of the German generals saying that. It was attrition. More people, more chance to win. So all the per capita shit is smokescreen. Super smokescreen. Because if we go over like per capita rates, say in mass shootings, again, we'll go back to mass shootings, the dominance of white perpetrators in mass shootings would show you a fairly almost indescribable higher rate for their group. Like, they committed more incidents of targeted mass shootings than any other demographic on the planet, including extremist-related murders from terrorists. Were all committed by white people. And just the nitpick, white people also dominate the DUI industry at an overwhelming score of 82%, around the same score as the fucking serial killing score. And blacks come in a close third at 15%. Guess who's second for DUIs? And this is according to the National Institute of Health, by the way. Hispaniols come in number 2 at 23%. Yeah, you were close. Usual suspects. So, in short, the most rape, the most serial killing, the most mass killing, the most crime of all time, the most theft, the most slavery, the most DUI is white people. That's it. I told y'all this wasn't gonna be long, but I will give you. Let me get the tables together for y'all, and then I'll put that shit in the community tab so you can see what I'm talking about. These numbers basically mean that all of the grifting that you see online, we're gonna have to up our rhetoric. All of the people arguing with these white people about criminality, we're gonna have to up our rhetoric. Start researching. Start going to these resources. You can't spend your life feeling your way through these conversations and pretending like you can just, be louder and be righter when you're talking about this shit. It's not gonna work. That's not how that works. It never works like that, and it never will. You have to be able to back this shit up. When they come out with their goofy ass stat talking about 14% of the people in the United States kills everybody, then you get your information, and then you can just put it in their face and say, sure, what about this? What about the fact that all of our homicides are against each other? Are you saying you want to help us? Is that what you're saying? How are you fatigued then? If you're fatigued, you should just let us do it. You know what I mean? If you're fatigued about black people killing each other, you just let us do it. Because we're doing the job for you, right? Like, we're killing each other. Just let us do it. Ain't got nothing to do with you. But if we look at the other side, you niggas kill everyone. Y'all kill y'all mama. Let you niggas run out of money. The whole family gotta die. Let you niggas have a bad day at work. Kill the dog. Anything you niggas talk about that's unfair, that's y'all. Y'all kill each other at the highest rate of all time. Even in other countries. And the worst part about it is, even when you niggas had an ethno state, when y'all had the Viking shit, y'all killed each other in the worst ways possible. Y'all got a shit called I forgot what it's called. It's like the something eagle. You niggas rip each other. Y'all rip the chest open and hang the nigga outside and let the birds eat him. That's y'all when y'all ain't got nobody else to kill. That's what y'all do to each other. But black fatigue. You know, you niggas got a gun and went around the world taking shit. Black fatigue. Okay, fuck it. That was a long time ago. Let's do something more recent. Niggas opened a bank. Niggas opened banks in a bunch of cities in the United States, you know, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s. Y'all blew the cities up. Okay, is that too far back? Okay, let's move up. Let's move up further. Let's move up further in the timeline. Niggas said, "Fuck it, fuck the cities. We'll try and integrate." So we started creating jobs around like mid 60s to the 70s. Okay, cool. What y'all do? Come in, push the niggas out. Push the dads out. Okay, that's too far back in time. Don't think about old shit. So move up in the future. Move up in the future. All right. There was some African niggas that was trying to get their money situation together, and y'all killed the leader because he was gonna back his money with gold. Okay, that don't count either because that was overseas, right? Right. The crime only count when y'all add niggas to our crime totals in America. Not when y'all kill niggas overseas for trying to make it, right? Okay, move up further in the timeline. All right, cool. You niggas doing land grabs all over the world. You got white Russians killing a bunch of white Ukrainians to get some land that they think belongs to them because they lost it a long time ago in a fight. All right, they ain't got nothing to do with us. All right, cool. Y'all got another group of white people with nappy hair that's killing another group of white people with nappy hair and accents to do a land grab because they think Jesus gave the land to them. They not white now? Them people not white now? Y'all go over there and kiss the wall and shit. So I was gonna say, you niggas. It's funny how y'all talk about black criminality and the crime y'all do is like the craziest shit. And do y'all look at us and say like we're the problem? We're not out here displacing entire fucking. We didn't displace the entire race of people, motherfucker. Like that's you niggas. That's you niggas. We don't claim eminent domain because a black basketball player bought up a block of real estate. We don't do that. Well, we can't. we ain't got that fucking power. You know, I remember there was a story about this black basketball player. He's trying to help some black people, have places to live and shit. So he bought up a bunch of real estate in the hood, just blocks of real estate. It was cheap. So along came white government and was like, nah, nigga, eminent domain. Let me get that off you. Just took his land. We're not the ones who almost wiped out a fucking entire country of natives, and then 100 years later, we go, yo, man, y'all got oil over here. We're gonna go ahead and renege on that treaty so we can get that, over in North Dakota. Remember that shit? Fracking head ass. We don't do that. But black fatigue though. Black fatigue. That's you niggas. You niggas do the worst. Y'all, white people are governmentally crippled because you got a bunch of white business leaders on camera fucking minors on an island. Black fatigue though. Oh, you niggas funny. White people are hilarious. This is why you niggas need to get your fucking rhetoric up, man. Like, when you start arguing with these white people, you get to say shit like that because this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Their criminality is different than our criminality. Their criminality is like we throwing rocks in a public pond and we're not supposed to. And these niggas is shitting in the pond. That's the difference. Yeah. What about Chicago? Exactly. What about Chicago? I said before, them niggas killing each other. If you got black fatigue, just let them do it. Right? Just let them do it. If you got black fatigue, let them niggas kill each other. You know, if you're complaining about it, help them out. Give them a hand. Like I said, ease up off some of that nepotism. You know, I've seen some of the most incompetent fucking white people in my life working in really high positions, getting paid, especially management. Don't know what the fuck they doing. Again, I work in IT. I've seen motherfuckers who used to work at a bagel shop become an IT manager with no skills. I seen a nigga. I had a white CEO that at a small managed services company who pulled his brother. His brother was a construction guy who ended up losing his job during the 2008 crash. He put that nigga in charge of the whole IT department. He didn't know the first thing about IT. He was one of them get it done managers. You know, you just walk by and shit and then you just say get it done just so you can say some shit like that boomer shit. Or walking past people's desks to see if their fingers moving on the keyboard. Just, you know, you in senior engineering and you don't really, I mean, most of the time you spend doing idle. They pay you to know what you're doing when shit hits the fan. They pay you to finish projects. They pay you to upgrade the infrastructure. You know, they pay you to do actual work. You know, they don't pay you to sit there and look like you typing all day. But he was one of them niggas that'll walk past, and if you don't see you moving fast enough, you're like, you know, what are you doing over here? And you know, get it done, and then walk away, because you gotta feel like he's doing something. But you know what the fuck we were doing. You know anything. He's the type of person that'll ask you questions on what you're doing. You give him an answer. You give him what's called an executive summary. You basically send the high level, the high level of what you're doing. Like maybe you don't tell him you're changing a routing protocol. You're saying you're upgrading. You're upgrading our overall speed and throughput, because that's the management language way of saying that. You give them that, and even that's too much. You know, you'll want the simplification simplified, and at the same time, they'll read a bunch of, you know, books and throw acronyms at you, like, you know, TCO, ROI, all that other shit. Same type of acronyms, different context. So again, I don't even get the fuck out of here. I told y'all this was not going to be long. Tables will be in the community description in the community tab in about, I don't know, a day. And then hopefully when you get into a conversation, not a debate, because nobody's debating with these white people, you know, you can just remember some of these numbers, just remember some of these statistics, and just understand that the per capita argument is ridiculous, bogus, and overall false. It doesn't make any fucking sense, you know. Anyway, let's do this again. Now, I will have one. The IQ one will be a bit longer, because I gotta go over a lot with that shit. This shit goes all the way back to the Nazi days, you know, and before that. Niggas got to get into genetic science seriously. If it ain't no black people in genetic science, then that's how they get to say that you low IQ. They can just say it. You're not in the field. If you're not in the field, they can say whatever they want to. You can't prove that they lying. You can, but you can't. You get me? You're not doing the science, so they can say anything they want to. So there's that. Again, y'all have a good night.